All right, so I'm a sucker for post-game interviews, and I actually wanted to see what Popovich had to say after the Utah Jazz loss. Now, as you guys know, the Spurs did beat the Utah Jazz. Yippee! I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so I do want to see if there was any tidbits that we can take from this, and just see what Greg Popovich approach is when it comes to these games, and overall just how he feels about the team thus far. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at that.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so before we get started, do not click the link in my description. It says clanthemerchfan.com with a lot of designs and a lot of merch. Just don't click it, don't look at it, okay? If you're going to look at it, you need to be at least over the age of 25. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So Greg Popovich, the GOAT Pop, what does he have to say about our loss to the Jazz? Obviously, we just won, but yeah, I'm curious.
Obviously, the third quarter was the bugaboo. Was the Jazz defense just sort of gain intensity in that?
Okay, I don't know if you can hear him. Basically, he's asking Pop about the third quarter. If you guys don't know, if you haven't been keeping up, and I don't blame any. I know some people say you're not a real Spurs fan and you haven't been watching these games. Look, it's fine if you haven't been watching them. I'm gonna tell you right now, they are not super fun to watch. And the San Antonio Spurs, every single time you get to the third quarter, they just fall apart, just absolutely demolished. It was the same thing. I went to Atlanta and I got to catch the Atlanta Hawks game. Same feel. I was like, wow, the Spurs might actually win this game. I mean, they're playing really hard. Well, let's just see what happened in the third quarter. Nothing. They played like trash. So
we played really well the first half. Come on, get off my ass. We had two great quarters, and then it didn't go very well. But what else is new? You've seen it before. We talk about 48 minutes all the time. We're obviously not a 48-minute team, so we got outscored 16 in the third quarter. I think at 9 minutes they were in the bonus. All the discipline goes to hell. Just not mature enough to understand. You got to keep it up. Got to keep it up. It's a game of consistency, execution, keeping your competitiveness up.
I think another thing too that it kind of comes down to, we're just not good enough. Like, we go against a lot of teams that are just so much better, and a lot of teams in the NBA, especially regular season, with so many games that you have to go through. We have a young team, so giving it your all is always great, okay? But giving it your all in the first quarter, man, you can definitely see the San Antonio Spurs like kind of just dwindle off as the game goes on. But you look at other teams and it's kind of the opposite. Like, they're not trying, but they're playing pretty decent. And then once the second half hit, then they just turn it up a notch. So I think that's part of it too. That's just my take on it.
And we just don't have it for 48. I think I can finally say that at this point in the season. We'll keep trying to get there. We'll stay on them. It's their job, but they got to own that. So that's the story of the game.
One thing I really like about Pop is he never gets to the point, or he never got to the point as a coach where he's just infatuated with the wins. Like, I know that he has the most wins of all time. I know that he's the GOAT, but at the same time, he got those wins because of his approach to the game. Obviously, you want to give the fans a good product, right? You want to win games, but Popovich has always approached it in the mindset of, yes, develop the players. That's what's most important, and everything else will fall in place. I mean, we always praise Pop for 2014, but I don't even think he thought that team would be that good. Okay, it got to a point where it was games where Pop wasn't even coaching. I mean, it was just destroying the opposite team. And I don't really think that had directly it was all Pop. Like, Pop was just running all these plays. I think that it really did just come down to the fact that you had a team that was cohesive, and you had a team that was well developed from Pop, and then it just became a monster. I mean, 2014 was just, it was really hard to beat us. I mean, really, really tough to beat the Spurs back then.
I do want to remember to say one really positive thing. Coach Jim Boylan deserves great credit for getting us qualified for the 23 World Cup. He just did that by beating Uruguay down in Uruguay. And he's coached
Is there anything else here?
in 3 or 4 different
Any more questions?
staff and all ball with
Nope.
qualified, which is a huge
Nope.
stuff in all those players.
Nope. All right. It's always good to hear from Pop. I guess that was it. Yeah, it's always good to hear from Pop. You guys know I absolutely love him. If you guys want to support the channel, as always, it's not much here. Clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description, or become a patron and YouTube member. Until next time, man, bye.